but I can't see anything, but I can see my sister.
I can
But
see my
anyways,
brother. That's cool. So,
for those who don't know us, I am Tim. I run the Tim Gardner project, which is Tim Gardner 2515 on YouTube. And this is my sister. I'll let her introduce you to her.
I am Crecha'Ann with Clarity with Crecha'Ann, and welcome. We're happy to have you here.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting. We've not done this before, so just bear with us.
Haven't done it. No,
Haven't
this is
done
all
it.
new thing.
This is all new to us. So,
Matter of fact, today was the first day I recorded a separate video, and Krisha just did it. What, 2, 3 weeks ago was her first video. So
yeah, now
yeah,
I just finished episode 3 of the journey of the recovery. So,
it's pretty exciting.
yeah,
There's lots of projects that you and I are working on within the next 6 months, so it's going to be pretty crazy. But why don't you just tell everybody about your channel, and then I'll tell everybody about mine, and then we can just kind of talk.
sure. Okay, so my channel is really broad. It covers a lot of areas. It covers anything from mental illness to depression to anxiety, to manifesting what you want in life, to um, uh, a journey of recovery, addiction, obviously, and alcoholism, as well as you know music. Music's another thing that I've been covering a lot of. I've been writing songs and didn't even know that I had that in me, but apparently
You do a great job too. You're very
it's
talented.
been happening. Um, and This is exciting. It's new, so just bear with us. But the channel is really just it's a big umbrella that covers a whole lot of different areas of life in general, things that aren't normally talked about and should be talked about. And most of all, just words of encouragement and accountability, as well as integrity and appreciating, and being grateful for what we have in life, and just pretty much just, our personal lives and sharing, what we have, and we have such a close bond with each other that we just kind of thought that this would be kind of fun to do together outside of our norm, because like Tim said, he's got his channels, I've got my channel, but we kind of thought that we every now and then came together and talked. You could kind of get a little bit more of an insight between the two of us, because it it's nice to know the people behind what's being discussed and talked about, and what the songs are coming from, where the songs are coming from, who we are, our family, our background. So, you know, everything that we're going to be discussing on our channels is pretty much, I mean, we're going to be pretty open, and we're going to put ourselves out there sometimes. And some things are going to be fun, some things are going to be a little sensitive, but it's all reality. And that's the whole point of this, is just letting you know that we're real people and that we care, and that everyone makes mistakes, and you just get right back up and you just go about life, and that's where I am. So take it away, Tim.
Well, yeah. So I must say that she's absolutely right, nailing what we're covering right now on both of our channels here. She covers it from more of a positive dynamic. Well, I mean, I'm not saying that my thing is not positive. It's very positive. I
Yeah,
I do
absolutely.
music. I create music on a more of a broader aspect than Crecha. Crecha does mental health research, sobriety, all you name it. She
Life coaching,
life
yeah,
coaching. She goes through all that. I
nation.
am. I'm just a musician and a content creator.
Yeah.
Her and I work together when it comes to also sort of different things behind the scenes. She'll give me ideas, I'll give her ideas, and then at the end of the day, what you see is what you get as the end result with the shorts that she brings out and the songs that I bring out, songs that she brings out, sort of a combination of everything. It's kind of a cool little multimedia tool that we both actually brought that just started about a month ago. I do have a personal channel that I will not talk about that is a different niche that Crecha and I are both aware of, but I will not at this time tell you what that channel is because it is growing right now. But I do have this Tim Gardner project, which is a lot of fun. It allows me to do what I wanted to do when I was in my 20s, when I was a rapid alcoholic, irresponsible, lying, selfish, just uh, person who wasn't grown up yet. And finally, here I am, 45 years old, starting this journey. And it's interesting to once you start something like this, it's like a dream come true, but also the work is so fucking hard.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's not easy.
a lot
And
of dedication.
yeah, and um, we are going to be using some foul language on this conversation too. So if anybody gets offended,
We apologize ahead of time. We
yeah,
don't, we're not trying to offend anyone, but it's life, it's real life, and
yeah,
we're not gonna be, pretending we're
yeah,
we're real, just like everybody else is. So,
yeah,
what you see
yeah.
is what you get.
Absolutely, and just really to put a cap on the rest of the channel. The channel just basically, on my perspective, I just release music out random times. You don't have to wait for a release date to come out. The music just comes out. I like to get feedback from the audience if they like the music, if they don't. I like to also make edits and do anything like that of that nature. Most of the songwriting in general is about my experiences of being an alcoholic. It's also been experiences of being a dad. It's also been an experience of growing up at the age of 45, which is it's just nuts. So it's a lot. It's freeing, and it's interesting because again, since I got clean, it's really a cool way to really incorporate where I want to go with the art. So this is a really great thing that her and I are both doing. We're both recovering addicts. Crecha has a lot of time under her belt, and I'm just recently recovering right now. So pretty cool.
Yeah, it's exciting. Being a recovering alcoholic and addict, um, you have a tendency to find yourselves in different areas of lives, and and it always ends up sending you a curveball. And in your recovery, you have to learn how to handle that, and what's going to trigger you, and how you're going to handle yourself and your behavior, because what you once did as a behavior, and how you handled triggers and what that kind of thing, you have to have more integrity at that point, and accountability, and be responsible and respectful. And we're neither one of us, we weren't there at one point. And with Tim being fairly new into recovery, and me having some under my belt, um, it's we just want you guys to know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And once you are ready and you put your feet, you know, on solid ground, there's so much that comes from it. There's a lot of emotions that come out of it, but there's so much good that comes from it. And I don't think either one of us actually could have done this if it wasn't for God. I mean,
Hmm.
um, he was the one that never forsake me, and I know he never forsaked him. But we had to invite him in. Yeah, you're gonna hear us swear, and yeah, you're gonna, hear some crazy stories, but we are human, and but we just want to be available to share our story and share our creativity and share what we went through, and somebody's gonna, it's gonna hit a nerve with somebody, and we just want to be available for those who um are new in recovery or thinking of, getting clean and sober, and just tell you about the amazing opportunities that are available once you step over that line,
Hmm.
you get into recovery, because none of this would be possible if it wasn't for the fact that we were both, we made that decision to become clean and sober, and none of this would be possible if it wasn't for our Father, our God,
Yeah.
you know and he's amazing. So but yeah, we have a lot of uh trauma that we came from, and we are all still dealing with it. And
It
as may
never goes away. It
no,
never.
it doesn't. It doesn't. But the fact is that we learn how to handle it in a more constructive manner, and that's the most important thing.
Right.
And not hiding from it, not resisting it, not running away from it and hiding, and not trying to numb ourselves. And that that in itself is it's a difficult thing, but that's why we created this channel. That's why Tim does what he does, that's why I do what I do, is because it gives us an outlet, and it allows us to make a connection with all of you, and we're grateful for having the opportunity to do so. um, it's with this being our first video, please forgive us. I mean, we're just flying by the seat of our pants at this
Hmm.
point, but we'll get there. And we just appreciate the fact that you guys are supporting us, and being a part of this, because this is a journey for all of us.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's really amazing. But there's been a lot of amazing things that have, come from, uh, you know, coming out of the darkness. I call it the dark abyss, um, and 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 the beauty that comes with it. You're still going to have your rough times, and you're going to have your moments of uncertainty, but when it comes down to it, you're heading in the right direction, and you're not living in the past anymore. You're living for your future. And that's the most important thing, is always putting one foot in front of the other, even if it's hard to do. Sometimes just getting out of bed is hard to do. Sometimes, getting out of bed and taking that shower is hard to do. And dealing with the depression, anxiety, you name it. We've been there. We both have been there, and at times we still struggle, but that's a normal thing, and there's just not enough talk about it, and but there's outlets, and that's why we are so proud of what we're doing, is that because of the recovery that we are going through, and that we live, it's allowing us to free ourselves from the addiction, from the alcoholism, and then utilize that in a creative and more constructive way. So
Amen. Couldn't have said that any better myself. There. Yeah. It's it's an incredible thing to go through, especially just when you're the creativity aspect is probably what I would equate it to is like depression is such it holds such a stronghold over the majority of people, actually everybody. If anybody said that they didn't have any depression or an ounce of depression, they'd be lying.
Yeah.
And so one of the big features that I would say of somebody is if you don't have creativity, you essentially are dead. And if you don't have that avenue of creativity, you have no way of get really having you do what God's calling you to do. So if you're not, creating music, writing, if you're not
Painting,
painting,
writing. Yeah.
yeah, if you're not doing anything that is showing your true artistic value, or even like your way of creating could be hiking, could be of like any other aspect. If you feel like you're not talented in one area, you could be something in another area. And the great thing about it is that if you're able to channel that, hold on to it, and ride with it, it's such a gratification to your soul, and like really next to having a relationship with God, it's actually the biggest thing that you can possibly have in your life. Relationships with people come and go, but it's that true like inner like your creativity is so important. I can't even tell you like it, I was I was in a prison for about uh, probably a good over 20 years of just not creating and doing anything like that.
Would you
And re-
call that like a mental prison? Because I don't want the wrong impression. I mean, it's like a mental prison, isn't
yeah,
it?
no, I wasn't in physical like solitude or anything like that. No, I was I
Well,
was
we did isolate ourselves at one time or another, or
well, yeah. I mean, what I equate prison to is I believe almost everybody also goes to prison, right? So like.
yeah,
What I mean by prison, there's forms of prison. You can go to physical prison if you like fuck up and you hurt somebody, steal something, commit a felony or a misdemeanor or whatever. Obviously, that's a physical way of going to prison. But
hmm
if you are like neglecting yourself, let's say like for example, our dad, he was with somebody for years who basically didn't acknowledge his credibility, his creativity, and who he was as an individual, and that's where he lost himself. And he
yeah,
basically was in his own prison until, unfortunately, the day he died.
yeah,
God bless his soul. He just passed away recently,
yeah,
and so that's a form of prison. The form of prison is, I mean, everybody has it. What if you're not doing what you're called to do? If
hmm
you're not, we're called to do something. And if we're just working a 9 to 5 job for the rest of our lives, and if we're just doing something that's just, we go every day, we're like, damn it, I hate this, I hate this. Yes, you have to do it to pay your bills. And there's
hmm
no disagreeing there.
right,
There's many forms of ways where it's like, okay, if relationships, if somebody's blocking you from being who you truly are, don't be with them.
yeah,
B,
toxicity,
yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of different forms. You have to live your life where you are being creative and
hmm
also having a relationship with God. To me, that those are the biggest learning lessons I've gotten when I've been sober. Because the fact is that when that I didn't have those two tangible aspects of my life.
hmm
Alcohol was was like literally my family savior and everything else, to a point where it was like my family, my inclusive family, my beautiful spouse and my son. Like I didn't even like encourage them, or I didn't even like think that they were my family. I thought beer, and I thought that like my
yeah,
sort of sense of like I just wasn't satisfied where I was at, and the only reason why is that I wasn't being creative and doing the things that I feel like I was sent here for. And so it's like
you
you
were
can't
being
even
called to do
literally like what's that?
what you were being called to do.
Yeah, you can't even you've got to when you creature this like you've woken up, both of us have woken up days we just didn't want to stay in bed and didn't want to face the world. And it's like
Yeah,
you didn't have that you didn't have that like channel to
motivation.
really focus on. And so it's just that you have to have that. That's my
Yeah,
point.
yeah. No, I think that's a wonderful point that you brought up. I think a lot of times too, we we look to the outside to make things to make ourselves feel better. And alcohol and drugs, even medications that you get from the doctors, self-medicating, has a tendency to hold you back because you're uh you're not appreciating, you're still numbing yourself. um Not to say that, I mean, if you're a depressed person, or you have anxiety, or you have, bipolarism, or all the countless different things that are going on, ADHD, all that kind of stuff, that it's not okay to take medication for. But you still have to, you have to break out of that box and go, okay, well, what makes me happy? What makes me happy? Is it fishing? Is it mountain biking? Is it dirt biking? Is it camping, hiking, painting, drawing? I mean, and people get so stuck in the rut of the 9 to 5. I got to pay my bills. I got to do this. And not making enough. You don't have to have money to be happy, because happiness is what you make of it. And you could simply go outside and just, listen to the birds. You can walk with your spouse. You can take your children outside and listen to them, and play with them, at, a park. Um, if you don't have that, hang out with your closest friend, or find a passion, but don't hibernate, don't isolate, don't pretend that you don't exist, because you do, because you matter. You are a part of this world. God put you here on this world
Mhm.
because you matter. You make a difference in one way or another. You are making a difference in this world. And nobody should feel that they don't make a difference. Nobody, I mean, everyone that is in this world has something to give, something to offer, something of value about themselves. And it's not necessarily a materialistic thing. It could be, you just bring light to the room that you walk into. People are just drawn to you. People, you know, eh, it's it's amazing. People forget that you don't have to have materialistic or tangible things to be adequate. It just being you is enough.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that's important. And a lot of people just get really stuck, especially in this society. I mean,
Mhm.
look. I mean, um, everything is so glamorized around alcohol and drugs, or partying, or, the latest fashion, or the latest, this or that, or, people, this, the thing that I want to make a point about is stop wanting to be somebody else, because there's somebody else who's wanting to be you. Because if you can be happy with yourself, then you're going to make those around you happy. But at the same time, if you're looking at someone and going, God, I wish I was them, I wish I had their life and everything like that, you're forgetting that you have your own life, and there's somebody out there that's looking at you going, oh, I wish I could be like them, I wish I had their life. Just be grateful, because you're alive, and you have so much to give, and you are of value to someone. It doesn't matter how many people. It doesn't matter about the quantity of people. It just matters that there's somebody out there who values you, and it needs to start with you valuing yourself.
Yeah,
And
and I've been struggling with that, like specifically about, that's one thing about my recovery is that just like valuing the aspect of myself because of the years of the damage that I caused and everything. And so it's, for people that are in my spot, it can be overwhelming. And to see, that's why, like, any of the codependency I may have had, like on that alcohol, went strict to creativity. And so that's one aspect, but there's many layers.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And, you know, I, I kind of, that's the hard part about recovery specifically, is that, in the beginning, it's not easy because you have to honestly look at yourself, what the damage that you caused, and where you go from there, and how you repair things, or if they're even repairable. And so,
Well,
yeah.
that's the thing is when you get sober and you start living your life free of drugs and alcohol, um, you're not going to be able to always make amends with everyone. You're not always going to be able to rebuild that bridge that was burnt. You may not always be able to regain the trust that you lost with certain people, but the important thing is to not forget the fact that you know if you've tried and you've done your best and you continue to stay consistent with your sobriety and with um, your goals and continue to be motivated and stop the loathing, good things will happen for you. Because if you're continuously beating yourself up and thinking about your past and what you did wrong from before, you're not allowing yourself to look at the future that you have in front of you, because you're continuously looking backwards at what you did wrong. And that was one of the biggest things that, for a long, long time, I carried that guilt and that shame of hurting my loved ones and losing the trust and burning the bridges. And there's some people that are out there that just don't care if you make it to the other side or not. It is what it is. But you don't have to hold on to those people. Um, you just simply bow away and move forward and find people that do appreciate you for who you are at that point in your life. And just remember that it's not going to be easy, and you're not going to always make amends, and you're not always going to be able to fix the broken you know parts, but there's always a new chapter. There's always another another way to go, and you just got to keep looking for the beauty, and keep looking for the good, and stop beating yourself up and start appreciating what you have and what you continue to build upon. Because as you and I were talking about it, just in this short amount of time, look what we have already accomplished. I mean, um, it's amazing. I mean, what you can go from having absolutely nothing because you completely destroyed everything in carnage, and in chaos. And then you go into this, all right, well, I'm going to take accountability now. I'm moving forward. I may not always make everybody that I hurt happy, and I may not always have people forgive me for the wrongdoings that I did, but I'm not going to continue that behavior. So I'm going to move forward, and new doors are going to open, and new things are going to come about. And you just have to just keep moving, pushing forward. That's all you can do.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you can do. And then that creativeness is going to come out. And that's when you're going to really thrive. I call it, striving and thriving. And if you're not thriving, you're not moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
If you catch yourself in a moment of um, beating yourself up and continuously going back in the past, well, you're not thriving. You're just you're just being stagnant. You're not, you're not doing what God is calling you to do. And the devil's got his grip back on you and he's pulling you back down. Um, and you and I both know that, when you allow that to happen, it has a tendency to tear you right back down to where you came from, and all that
Yeah.
hard work and all that effort and all that energy and all that trust that you started building and everything just goes right down the tube. So it's a hard habit to break. It is a hard behavior to switch and shift from. And it takes a long time. It takes a long time, but you can do it. Every day is a new day, a new day.
Yep. To those of you who are watching the stream right now, if you see me like moving my hat backwards, frontwards, all that other type of stuff, it's hot where I'm at. So it's kind of hard to like, it's just trying to stay comfortable somehow. So it's like,
Yeah, and it's freezing where I am right now,
Yeah.
and the wind is blowing outside, and I'm sure you can, you might be able to hear that. So here's Tim, where it's nice and hot. He's got his hat, trying to keep himself cool, and I'm freezing my ass off. So la la
Mhm.
la la.
Yes, yes. And I don't think I'll edit that, but whatever, it doesn't matter. But anyways,
Doesn't need to be edited.
doesn't
It's
need to
just real.
be edited. But yeah, so well, um, uh, these are many topics we cover. Cretia covers a lot of these topics. With my channel, I'll touch on that. But primarily, it's more about just the journey going forward. Cretia's out of the both of us the wiser. She has over 20 years of sobriety, so it's really important to just she's just so wise. So it's really important. I'm a huge fan of her work, and like if you just listen to her talk, she has endless amounts of wisdom. So when if you do get a chance, check out Clarity with Crecha'Ann. She's got very insightful like shorts. She's working on her third video right now of her testimony. Her testimony is so powerful. She has like multi-part testimony, which is crazy.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm assuming here in the future, Cretia, with other outlets and stuff, you're going to give your full testimony, like on our time constraints don't allow us to actually fit them on a certain.
There's just too much. You
Yeah,
can't do it all in one episode. You got to break it down because otherwise it's just too overwhelming to
yeah,
all
yeah,
at once.
yeah.
And there's a lot of information and stuff. But you know, um, yeah, I appreciate that, Tim, that you put the channel out there, and I also want you to have people come to your channel and listen to your music because your music is very powerful. I mean, what you have to say
Thank you.
is amazing. It's very heartfelt. It's very it's real, and it's not a bunch of made up words. It's actually life experience that you've gone through, and I think people could really connect to your music and appreciate what you have to say in your music because the message is really really powerful. So if you get a chance, listen to Tim's channel, and and you'll find several songs that are gonna, just get you right in the heart. And yeah, it's only the beginning. So, um, you know, but it's still just one of those things you just got to keep dedicated, motivated, focused, and but you have to have a balance, and between Tim's life and my life, We both have children. We have, important people that we care about, and we really have to find a balance between our channels, our life, our work, um, our creativeness, and you know, but it's just it is what it is, and you just can roll with it. But this is what's been put in our hearts to do, and that's why we're doing what we're doing. So,
Yep.
and
And
what's your channel? It's
TRG Music
TRG
2515.
Music 2515. Yep, that's
And a
right.
little plug too. My debut album comes out the end of the month. It's called Payday Blues. Released
Yes.
on, it'll be out on vinyl and CDs if they still sell CDs, but it'll be in retail stores, and right now you can actually download the music from that album on Amazon, Apple, and Spotify. So
Yeah.
uh, you could take a look at it. Thank you for plugging my thing too, Krisha. Appreciate that. But yeah, just go on there, take a look at that, and I've got so much like music on my hands. I have another album coming out next month. That the album's called Tales of a Lucid Man, which that's the one I'm really looking forward to too.
Listen
But
now, he's just going and going. I
yeah,
mean,
so
this is just amazing.
yeah, so
But these are the things that you can do when you free yourself from the chains of addiction and alcoholism. Um,
yeah,
you
yeah,
really can. But, you know, it's not just addiction and alcoholism. You could be chained to abusive relationships. You could be chained to toxicity. You could be chained to domestic violence. The list goes on. And just know that we are here and we hear you.
yep,
And if there's
yep,
anything that we can help,
hmm
or you want to comment on,
yep.
we'll respond in a timely manner as best as we can. Like
Yeah.
I said,
Think about both of us as like, if you don't go to AA, if you don't go to you don't have fellowship groups or anything like that, and if you need to reach out and just we're both we've been through the fire, been through the fire again, been through the fire again, and then came out on the other side. So
mhm,
we're here for you. If you're going through the fire, if you're going through the shit, we know it. And yeah, it's you can't do it without other people, dude. You
no,
cannot.
yeah. So if you need a support system, and you don't have that, uh, start with us,
Hmm.
because uh, we had to start from somewhere. We had to start with nothing, and then eventually it started building. But when you burn your bridges, or you have nobody, or you are in a relationship that ends up causing you to be, where you're isolated and you have nobody because they've kept, the partner you're with is prevented you from being with somebody. I'm just giving you random things, but just remember, we're here. We're here for you. You're not alone. Nobody's alone in this. You have us at this point. So
Yeah, and other things too, which is, well, I got to give a shout out to YouTube for what they have available too. Like if
absolutely.
they have so many great daily shorts, so many great daily testimonials or like life testimonials, and what helps out for me in my journey so far in sobriety is I have a playlist of things I keep like categorized. So like I'll see a video I like, I put it in my playlist. I just keep putting it in my playlist. And so like if I get down or if I'm facing a certain area, like a challenge, dependency, just having a hard time, it's always good to know that you have that because
Mhm.
because you definitely not alone. You're not alone, and yes, yeah. That's what I wanted to say there.
Yeah. Well, we do appreciate your time. And yeah, this was kind of all over the board kind of
Yeah,
discussion tonight. but that's what it's about. And this is reality, and we're just real people trying to be available. And you know so if you want to continue to follow our path, then we'd love for you to be a part of it. And just want to say thank you.
Yeah. And yeah, just again, keep in mind, do message us, do comment us, and about just, touching base about if you're going through some issues. That's huge.
Uh-huh.
Also, again, don't forget to follow Crecha at Clarity at Crecha'Ann. Um, she's on X as well. You can do follow her platform there. And she releases 2 shorts a day. And she does release. How often do you release a full length video?
Well, I've been trying to get, a minimum of at least one a week. But my goal is to start getting 2 to 3 a week. But, I have to baby step that because, again, it's all about balance of family, balance of, life in general. And then, of course, doing the 2 reels a day, you really have to balance things out the best you can. And,
Mhm.
you know, you have to. I mean, that's part of life. If you're overdoing it on one thing, then you're avoiding and not being able to, take care of another area of your
Mhm.
life. So you really got to find a actual balance.
Yeah, I got to find a good balance, and that's one thing too. We'll talk about in another episode, another live episode here. I want to talk about her and I, our journey so far doing this, streaming and doing just. I mean, you want to talk about a grind. This is a grind. Her and I have been really working hard on both of our channels and just getting everything prepared. And it's a journey. It's really hard. There's, one thing that I would say, this is just a sneak preview, and Krisha is going to give a little bit of a take, and then obviously we have to go. But I just want to say, like, if you're if you see a bunch of videos about how to get followers and all this other type of stuff, it's not going to happen for you if it's not going to be organic. And
Yeah.
I've done research when it comes to like everybody and anything. And those people are telling you to get followers, how to get followers and extra followers. Those type of followers that you get, they're called artificial followers. They don't
Hmm.
give a damn about you. They don't give a damn about your growth. They don't give a damn about what your brand is.
Mm-mm.
So if you're going to get your followers, make sure that they are actually organic and they're true to what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you'll see most of the success that's out there on YouTube, primarily everybody from Mr. Beast to Logan Paul to all the big guys that are out there. They have just a very, very central core about what they have. And
Hmm.
so it's really good to know that Krisha and I both right now we have a small following, but they're like loyal, and
Very loyal.
yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
But it's growing, and it is growing, and it's growing faster than what we thought. But
yeah,
at the same time, like Tim said, they are very loyal and they're organic, and they are the type of followers that you know um, appreciate what you're doing, and they're engaged with what you're doing, and they can connect with what it is that we're providing. So,
yes.
and
So
that's the most important thing. So, but none of this would be possible without, our Father God, and we
mhm,
appreciate him and all the wisdom that he's provided in his shield of protection and his path that he's laid before us. So glory be to God for
mhm,
that. And I just appreciate the fact that, my brother and I are working together on things, and that our family is united, and that we're breaking the cycle that our family, generation after generation of alcohol and drug addiction, we are finally breaking that curse, and so that our children can have a better life. And that's the beauty of what we have. And anyways, thank you.
Yep. Thanks, guys. And again, next live stream, her and I are going to delve more into the YouTube factor. Praise God, praise Jesus, and thank you for
Hey,
joining us.
one thing. How often do you want to do this, Tim?
Uh,
We should probably let them know how often we think we should.
yeah. If you guys want to leave comments, and if you guys don't leave comments, because right now we're still on the honeymoon phase of like comments, so we don't get very many comments yet. But if you do, give us some feedback. We can leave a poll question out there, or we can, just message us and let us know what you would like from us to do once a week, twice a week, whatever. So
topics, all that kind of stuff, because your input is just as important as to what we're trying to get out there. So
yeah.
If you can share with us the things that you would like for us to discuss, then that makes it that much more engaging. So
Yeah, and your feedback means everything. It's just we cannot do this without you. We're putting all this out there for you, and without you, we cannot do it. So thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, Tim, I love you so much. You have a good night's sleep, and thank you, everybody. I appreciate you guys being here.